What's up, everybody? It is another beautiful day to be alive. It is Sunday, February 23rd, and it is beautiful outside today in Virginia. It is about in the 60s, finally getting over some of that cold weather. And it is the second episode of A Successful Frontier. And I'm very glad, if anybody out there that's listening, very glad that you're here. And basically, what we're talking about is going to be motivational stuff, motivational speaking for the first part of the duration of this episode, and then the next half is going to be more just open talk between my associate and I, Sean, the engineer, the sound guy, pretty much everything, making it possible for you to hear me right now. So, like I said, it's been a beautiful weekend. I've had a great weekend, very relaxing, but still getting work done. How about you, Sean? How's things going for you?
It's been okay.
Okay. Not phenomenal, not awesome. Why not? You can make it awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're the laid back dude, man.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
I'm digging that Call of Duty Ghosts mask that you got.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh. Okay.
If only you guys could see it. It's amazing. You got it off on Amazon for $8. Can you believe that? Cheap, man. You can't get any better than that. Now I need to pick one up.
Yeah.
And then also get goggles, and then that way we'll have a cameo on here, right?
Oh, yeah.
So what'd you do this weekend, man? Did you have you had the band practice, right?
Yep, sure did.
And how was that?
It went well.
It went well? Awesome. Cool. All right, winners. This is what we're going to be talking about today. Talking about vision, all right? Last week we were kind of all over the place, and I really appreciate you guys bearing with us on that first episode because it was not very structured. But hey, episode 1, we got some of the kinks worked out, and I'm very glad you guys are returning to listen to me again. I'm just here to help in any way, shape, or form. So when we talk about vision, it's talking about the future, what you see for yourself in the future. Where do you see yourself being? And the most wonderful thing about our mind is really the gift of imagination. Imagination could do amazing things for us. We're really the only species on our planet with it. Think about that for a minute. We're the only species on this planet with that gift of imagination, being able to use our mind to pretty much see ourselves and where we want to be. And that's what creates, basically, like I just said, it creates our vision of the future. All of what we want, what we truly want and desire is in our imagination. We could see ourselves in it before it becomes our reality. That's where it all takes place. That's where it starts. That's where you got to start. Start with a vision. Where do you see yourself? What kind of a life do you see yourself living? Take a moment right now. Picture yourself 10 years, 20 years into the future and see the person you want to be, the kind of life you want to live. Make that your vision. Make it tunnel vision. Make it. That's the only thing you need to see and focus on right now. Make that your vision. Let that be the only thing you see day in and day out. Take 20 to 45 minutes, every day and go somewhere quiet, somewhere where you won't be bothered, block everything out and just put some relaxing music on if you have to, maybe some classical music, something that something that's good for you, something you can relax to. Some people don't even need music. Maybe sit in silence, or in the shower even. It's silly, but a lot of people sometimes there are moments where they can really truly think to themselves 100% without any distractions in the shower. That's where you're completely, totally alone with your mind. Anywhere that you can be alone and close your eyes and see that future, see the future that you want. I don't care what you got to do. Go in the basement, go in your room, just block out everything else. Turn your phone off so you're not distracted. Stay away from the computer. Just take that time and just think about your future. Envision it. Really be specific. Make it like you're actually there. You're already living it. And feel the joy. Feel how great it feels to be there. And hold on to it. That can change your entire energy around for the entire day. You know, for me, I like to do it when I first wake up, so that way I'm off on the right foot. After I give my gratitude, you know, my little, you know, what I'm grateful for. After I go through that, I think about my future. Get off on the right foot. Start the day positively. You know, the challenges that everyone faces is that they're living in the present and in the past, and they're only thinking about the future. And you know, they're living the present and past, but you know, they only think about the future. They don't, you know, like half of the time, you know, and half the time when they think about the future, they're worried about where they're going to be. They're worried they're going to be somewhere they don't want to be. I mean, what sense does that make? Why would you waste your energy on that? That's only going to attract more negativity in your life. You know, don't think about where you don't want to be. That's the last thing you want to do. Actually, that's not even the last thing. You don't want to do that at all. Don't even have that on the list. Throw it off the list. Cross it out. Don't even think about where you don't want to be. That's just gonna mess you up. It's like thinking about debt. You know, thinking about bills. Thinking about having enough money. Worrying about this. All that's gonna do is just create more and more negative energy. Make you feel more and more uneasy, and it's just going to attract it more and more into your life. You know, think about where you want to be, you know, what you want to be doing, how much you want to make, you know, the things that you want to do, the relationships you want to have. But, you know, but like I said, that's the biggest challenge, is just, you know, living in the present and the past. People continue to just dwell about all the things that they're you know, that they're holding, you know, that they're holding back, and it's holding them back, and it's keeping them down. You know, they're thinking about all the things that are just negative, and it's just keeping them restrained from really unlocking their true potential. You know, all I got to say is it's going to be hard. You know, everything's going to be challenging. You know, anything that you try and do, changing your life, it's going to be challenging. Any successful person will tell you they didn't do it in a day. You know, no successful person just literally woke up and just took one step right into their dream and then, hey, look, I did it in one try, you know? No. Everybody, you know, they didn't try it once and get it all. Everybody has had all of their difficulties, their challenges, roadblocks, hurdles, whatever you want to call it. You know, everybody has had that. Everybody. You know, any successful person. I mean, I'm asking you now just to forget about, you know, all of the worries, you know, forget about the past, you know, forget about the past, forget about the present. Just keep your whole being, you know, everything that you hold dear, everything. Just focus on the future. Let it be the thing that gets you up in the morning. When you wake up, let that be the first thing on your mind, your dream, your future, what you want. If you want it bad enough, your imagination will take you through all the pain and the suffering, through all the ups and downs. I believe if you go there in the mind, you're going to end up there in reality. You know, that's the power of imagination, the power of our minds, the power of vision. Just seeing yourself there before before it happens. You got to believe it, though. You really got to focus on it. You really got to believe it. After you've seen yourself in the future and what you want to be, you have to, you know, just have the faith. Have faith that it will happen. Have faith that all your work will get you there. Nothing was ever accomplished without having faith that it could be done. You know, there'll be days where it'll be hard. You know, it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be challenges. It's life. But that's when you got to keep having the faith that your time is coming. You think when Bill Gates or Steve Jobs ran into hardships and difficulty, they were just like, oh, you know what, this is too hard to give up. No way, man. Are you kidding me? They had billion-dollar ideas, and they firmly believed in what they were doing. And they knew just a little matter of time, just a little bit more, that they were going to get there. You know, they pressed on because they believed in what they were doing. And look what happened. The rest is history, man. Changed everybody's lives forever. The world will never be the same because of, you know, what they've done. That's why you got to believe. Have faith. Let it carry you through everything, man. You can't give up. You can't quit no matter how hard it gets. Never, ever give up. Instead of quitting, you know, just and I'm not going to lie. There will be times where, you know, you're going to miss something. You're going to slip up. You know, you're going to fail a little, you know. There are going to be times, but let those times be learning moments and just keep pressing forward. You know, no matter what the mistake or barrier or obstacle that seems like it's just too much, you know, just let it go and just keep going. You know, basically just If you're going to fall forward. Don't fall backward. Think of it as new opportunities to learn from. That's how winners and champions are made. It builds irreplaceable character that you will pass on to others. No matter what, keep your imagination and hold on and say to yourself, I will make it. No matter what. Always tell yourself that. If you find yourself, you're getting down and you've got a roadblock, you got a hurdle, you got a mountain you got to overcome, just keep telling yourself, I'm going to make it. I'm going to get through this. Even if it's something like a class, something like a class that you're taking and you don't pass, don't leave it. Don't just say, you know what? I give up on that class. No, retake it. Because if you think about it, you're already ahead of everybody else in the class. You're already ahead once you start that class over again. You just need to give it a little extra effort. Just a few more hours in the lab or the library or at home studying. Instead of partying, spend the night studying. Even if you feel like you got it, study again because you know how important it is that you pass. It all starts with your vision, though. You got to have that vision. You got to have that mindset, that goal of what you see yourself becoming. Your current status in life it's gonna pass no matter what. You won't be stuck there forever. So you can do this. I know you can. Every day when you wake up, you've got to have passion, energy. Get excited about your goals and future. Make it your way of life. Let everything go. Let your dreams take over. Once you let your dreams take over, the rest is cake. All you got to do is just keep that vision, let your dreams take over, and next thing you know, you'll be jumping over these things that you call mountains, these problems that you have. Let it be the deciding factor for everything that you do day in and day out. Let your dreams take over. Have one plan and stick to it because anything else will be just a distraction. Faith, though, I'm going to tell you guys, and you've been hearing me talking a lot about faith. Faith is the most important thing. Without it, you won't accomplish what you want. So believe that you have the time. As long as you are alive, you can do it. So you get dug. You get knocked down. You get knocked down, so what? You get back up. You say, is that all you got? And you throw those obstacles against the wall, man. Seriously. You just get back up and you keep trying. You keep pushing. You keep grinding. So just keep your eyes on the future. Have that vision. And let everything else go. Let your dreams take over. Because once your dreams take over, man, like I said, it's all going to be cake. You'll be able to get through anything. And you just got to have that faith that it's going to be all right. Nothing was ever accomplished, like I said, without faith. Everybody has to have faith in something. Nobody ever did anything. Nobody ever accomplished anything, finished anything without having any faith. Nobody, they didn't create electricity without faith. They didn't build the Great Wall of China without faith that they could do it. They didn't do, there was just all these things that had been done, that people did, that took a great amount of faith. They had to take a leap of faith in some cases, So no matter what happens, even if you get, like I said, even if you get knocked down, just get back up, say, so what, and keep going. Because it's just going to build character. It's going to mold you into that successful mentality. It's going to mold you into that successful person. You're going to be stronger because of it. So don't let that get you down. So remember all those things, keep your imagination, take that time every day to see your future. That's really the most important. Because if you don't sit there and you don't think about your future, you don't see yourself doing it, that's gonna be a big thing that you're missing. You got to be able to see yourself doing it. You got to be able to see it every day. You got to live it. You got to breathe it. You got to just live in your future. Always think about it. Never, ever, ever take your mind off of it. Everything that you do has to be centered on that goal. Believe and have faith that'll happen, and never, ever quit. Let your dreams take over. And if you get knocked down, get back up. So, like I said, having faith, that it's going to happen. That's the most important thing. And letting your dreams take over. I mean, that's probably the easiest part right there. You know, if you want it that bad, if you want it that bad and you have that mindset, if you're letting your dreams take over, everything is going to work out. You just need to surrender yourself to it, man. Just say, you know what? This is what I believe. This is what I want. This is what I want to do. Nothing's going to change my mind. I'm just going to I'm just going to go all out. Go all in on it. You know, if it's something you truly believe is good work, stick with it. Don't give up. Don't quit. Just keep pushing. Keep going. Sooner or later, it's going to be your time. You got to believe it, though. Don't just sit there and just be like, oh, yeah, you know, I get it, I'll get there, yeah. Don't half believe it. You got to fully believe it. Don't have half the faith. Have 100% of the faith. Don't just think you got it. Know you got it. Know that it's going to be your time. You know, and that'll take you through some of the darkest times of your life. You know, I know for me, you know, there were many times where I could have given up. I could have quit. I could have been like, this is it, man. This is all over. But I didn't. You know, I didn't at all. I kept pushing. I kept going. I kept fighting. And now I'm in a better position and I'm in a better character and I'm able to, you know, continue to spread the message of having that positive mental attitude. You've got to believe it. You've got to believe that it can happen, man. Belief is the strongest thing that you can have right now. Because if you don't believe it, it's not going to happen. If you don't have faith, it's not going to happen. You know, you need to seriously take that time that I said before and review everything that you want in the future, and just believe that it's going to happen. Believe that, you know, that you can do it, that you're going to make it happen. It's not, you know, it's not up to anybody else. It's up to you. Nobody else is going to make your dream for you. You know, I heard this quote a while ago. If you don't start building your dreams, you're going to end up building somebody else's dreams. Basically, you're just going to end up stuck, and you're going to be helping somebody else build their dreams. So you got to ask yourself, what sounds more appealing? Are you going to build your dream or somebody else's dream? You're going to let somebody, you know, make you build their dream, or are you going to take the time, stand up for what you believe in, and build your own dream? You know, that's where having that character, that grown-up character, is all about. You know, instead of going out on Thursday, Friday nights, you know, if you're like I said before, if you're in that class and you're not getting it, you're not passing it, you know, don't give up. You know, instead of going out, instead of, you know, partying, and don't get me wrong, there's a time and a place to have fun in life. But when it's something like this, where you got to work on your future, you know, you need to start improving yourself. You need to make changes. There's certain things you need to change. So, like I said, it's those hours and hours and hours of additional time studying, or in the lab, in the library, talking to the teacher, you know, and that's all it is. It's just that extra effort that can get you there. That's where it's won. It's in those extra hours, doing the things that nobody else is doing. You know, Mike Tyson said it one time when he was in an interview, when he would talk about getting ready for a fight. He said, nobody wants to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, and go out into the cold, or go out, you know, only having like 7-8 hours of sleep, and start running. Nobody wants to get up and do that. But he did it. He says, I did it because I know that the other guy isn't doing it. So that's what you got to do. You got to take that next step. Have that vision and just go after it. You know, keep it in your mind, and it's going to take you there. It's going to take you places that you never dreamed. And next thing you know, you'll be there. If you have the faith, you take that time every day to think about it, live it, breathe it, and then just put in that extra effort. And just never, ever quit. Let the dreams take over, and if you get knocked down, get back up. That's the biggest thing. You know, everybody is going to get hit at one point. Everyone's going to get hit. They're going to fall, and then that's when the character takes over. That's when having that character is really going to be the most important factor, is if you're able to pick yourself back up and go it again. Do it again. You know, if you're on the, if you're trying to get on a sports team and you get cut or you don't make it or you don't start, that's not the end. That's not the end of the road. Doesn't mean you quit. Doesn't mean you give up. It means you take that extra time by yourself if you have to, and you work on the things that you know that you need to work on. You work on your speed. You work on your strength. You work on the studying. You work on all of that stuff. I mean, there were times when there were many sports players that were either cut or they were just walk-ons or they had to battle their way into a starting role sometimes not until they got into college. That's when they started. Just because you get hit once doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Doesn't mean you need to quit. Doesn't mean you need to give up. Doesn't mean you need to find something else to do. No, if that's what you want, go get it. Don't quit. Don't give up. Better yourself. Make yourself better. Find out what you're not doing. Find out things that you need to do better. Find out things that you need to improve on and act on it. Do the things that everybody else isn't doing. Spend that extra time at the track or at the study hall or whatever that needs to be done. So remember all those things. I'll say it one more time. Keep your imagination. Keep it vivid. Take that time every day to see your future. It should be when you wake up. When you wake up, the first thing that's on your mind is your future, is your dream, is that vision, what you have that's pushing you every day. Believe and have faith that it's going to happen. Believe with your heart and soul and everything that you have that it's going to happen, and nobody can change your mind. No matter what anybody says, no matter how crazy your dream is, no one's going to change your mind. Just keep it there. Keep having the faith and believe it's going to happen. Never, ever quit. No matter what happens, no matter how many times you fall down or it didn't quite turn out as you expected, don't quit. Keep pushing, keep practicing, keep working your plan, and no matter what, just don't quit, because you never know how close you're going to be. You never know how close you are. You never know how close you are. You could just need a little extra push and then you're there. Don't quit. Sometimes the person that quits is the person who's just about to break the surface and blow up. Let your dreams take over. Let them just take over your life. Everything that you do, every decision that you make day in and day out needs to be just let it be all for your dreams, all for your goals. Let your dreams be the deciding factor. Let it take over. And if you get knocked down, I said it before, get back up and keep going. Keep running, keep chasing your dream. Don't let anybody else change your mind. So that right there is my take on having that vision. So you winners got to go out there, have that vision, have that mentality, have that character, make the smart decisions, the things that you know you need to do. It may not be fun, but it's going to pay off in the end, and that's the most important thing. If you really want to live your dream, you need to make those smart grown-up decisions. You need to start acting like a grown-up and make the right decisions. Study more, practice more, whatever it is you got to do. Just keep grinding, don't give up, and the world is going to be yours no matter what. Thank you very much. That's all I got on the vision, man. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And right now we're going to go ahead and we're going to switch gears a little bit here. Kind of go back to a more open talk kind of thing. Kind of switch gears into the second half of our episode here. I hope everybody is enjoying the weekend. We're back on Sunday. So Sunday, end of the weekend, we got Monday coming up. Don't dread Monday. Look forward to Monday. TGIM. That's what my boy Eric Thomas says. Eric Thomas, my favorite motivational speaker, has his own thing on YouTube. You can look it up. TGIM. Thank God it's Monday. Go look it up. Give it a like. Give it a subscription. Check it out. He'll pump you up every morning, every Monday morning. He's up at like 4 a.m. I swear to God, recording that stuff. What about you, man? What you got going on, Sean, this week? Got anything planned?
No.
No, nothing. Just chilling. This guy is a music machine, dude. That's all this guy does. He's a savage when it comes to making music. That's all he wants. That's all he does. Well, not all he does. He's got a lot more talent too.
I study a lot now.
Well, yeah, true.
You know.
Yeah. Look, yeah. See, like I said, he takes my advice to heart. Wink.
Yep.
So you're still doing that insurance thing? You're still studying for the insurance,
Yeah.
right? How's that going, man?
It's all right. It's really frustrating
Right.
when you reach types of policies because then you have to be covered personal and commercial.
Yeah.
Which commercial, unless you work for a financial company, you wouldn't use it. So,
Yeah.
but you have to know it. So.
Yeah, getting those different types of policies that can get really confusing, I guess. As long as you're getting it, though, that's the important thing.
Yeah, there's state laws that conflict with insurance.
Right.
So it reads like and it's, the commissioner of insurance is appointed by the state government.
Yeah.
He's a state government official. So when you read the paperwork, it reads like, government paperwork.
Yeah.
So you can't take too much of it at once. You have to break it up.
No, yeah, that makes sense, dude. Do you have like a set day that you're gonna take the test or anything?
I try to set them. I've set 3 dates, and I have stretched past all those 3 dates. So I don't really know. I thought I would have had my license by now. And
Yeah. Well, hey, man, you got to make sure you get it though.
Oh yeah.
That's the. I mean, like, as far as like don't worry. As far as having to go past those test dates, you just got to make sure you have it all up here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's why it's funny because what motivated me when I was studying for my personal training exam, I noticed that I was studying, but when you're trying to pretty much teach yourself the entire human body and exercise and all that stuff, it really, really gets grueling on your head, especially when it's a huge, textbook that you're reading through. I mean, I studied every day, but I realized that what helped me study even better was when I actually called and set the test date. Mm-hmm. I set it for I think it was like a month and a half in advance. And that's when I really started studying hard, just nonstop. That's all I was doing was head buried in the book and just studying.
Yeah.
And thankfully it paid off. I mean, I was able to pass the test, which was very, very hard, but I was happy. I was glad. I was confident that I knew everything, and I walked in there, and it was extremely hard, but I passed it on the first try, which is good. So yeah. So sometimes setting the test date can help.
It can help. What's helped me get through it, and what helped me get through it the last time is I'm 3rd generation insurance agent.
Yeah.
So, in 1971, my grandmother made an agency, and it still exists. So, that helps.
Yeah, so when you have an entire family that's there to help you, that's give you advice, or you're stuck on something, they'd be like, "Oh no, it's just this," and you're like, "Oh, that makes sense." Sometimes they can put it in a point of view that you hadn't thought of,
and it helps a lot when you're really connected with someone, and they've all had to do the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. So it seems a little easier to be able to achieve getting the licensing than some testimonial from somebody that you don't know, or
Yeah, no, that's that makes total sense. Yeah. Have you looked at what companies you want to work for after you get it?
Generally, I've stuck with State Farm is the first one I've always paid attention to, and I'd work for Nationwide because
because they're on your side, man.
I've been with Nationwide for a while now.
Listen, do you want to work with Nationwide because they're on your side, or do you want to work with Jake from State Farm?
No, that's
the reference, right? The commercial. Yeah. It's Jake from State Farm. Oh yeah, at 3 a.m.
Me?
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm? Khakis. She sounds hideous. Well, he's a guy, so. The commercial was great. I have to give it to him. That was funny. I'll tell you what. The other one that's real funny is the Allstate commercials when they have that when the people get that guy's voice It's like, why don't you try Allstate? It's like,
yeah. They've always advertised themselves very well.
Yeah, Allstate.
I'm kind of surprised that Geico gets the best commercials.
Yeah.
Because they can be... I have seen them write some really bad.
Oh, God, I know.
I have heard just some things that they do. Just like, why?
Geico... the funniest Geico commercial I saw was when they had the gecko and the older man. They were in the restroom. And it's all like, I got this new ringtone. It's like... Geico can save you 10% or more on car insurance. I was like, well, that's not the worst ringtone I ever heard. And then his phone goes up. I was like, ring a ding 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 a dong. Yeah. he's like, that would be the worst. Yeah. Ever since I heard that, I was like, oh my God, I want that ringtone on my phone. That is the greatest thing I've ever heard.
I'm actually glad they got rid of that gecko.
Yeah. That was starting to get old, man.
Yeah. I mean, it was going on for years. So
I know.
it was just like, okay.
Kept going and going and going.
The squirrels making the car crash was the best one.
That was funny.
That's always
when all the animals are screaming and stuff. That woman at the end, she had when she came out, I was like, oh God. Yeah. She was like, oh. It's so great. I made this Vine last night. I posted. Did you see it?
I saw it. Yeah.
Did it work for you?
Yeah,
okay, because my friend was trying to watch, and she said that she couldn't like at first it wouldn't let her view it, and then I reposted it again, and then she clicked on it, and then it didn't have any sound. And I was just like,
no. The reason why it doesn't have any sound is because on Vines there is a mute, but there's an audio button in the top left corner, and because whenever I viewed them, they're always muted.
Oh,
but as soon as you click this, the sound comes in.
Oh, okay. I need to let them know because that's so funny. I just randomly thought of that. It was the for all you listeners out there. It was a Vine using the clip from 300, and it was the emissary going, "What makes this woman think she can speak among men?" And then the queen goes, "Because only Spartan women give birth to real men." And then the second half is the group of these guys, and they all are going, "Oh!" And then one kid walks by the camera pulling his face down with his hands like a face melting, like, "Oh my God." It was silly. It was something I randomly thought of. I was like, that'd be humorous.
Well, that's the first one you did, right?
It's the only Vine I've ever created, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the only Vine that I ever created. It's that was the only one that I had any interest in making. And my God, it took me 10 minutes to get that thing to get it perfect. It took so long. I was I kept running out of time at the end. I was like, dang it.
Yeah.
Vines are, I don't know. It's so weird how Vines have really become so popular, and I'm I've seen so much random stuff on there.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was hanging out with a friend, and they were I walked into the where they were on the computer, and they were just sitting there, and they were just clicking next, just watching just random Vine videos. Oh, just kept clicking next. I was I can easily see how you can get lost in it, and just sit there and just keep clicking next, kind of like YouTube. How you click on one thing and then you see related videos, and next thing you know, you're like, "Where? How did I get here?"
Somewhere else.
Yeah. And you get those comments "I'm in the weird part of YouTube again."
You're in the far.
Yeah, the
side of.
You're in the black hole. You're on the other side of the YouTube universe.
The dark side of the web page.
Yeah. The funniest one, because I was clicking through random movie scenes, and it was this Nicolas Cage one. It's not that you don't say.
Yeah.
I mean that was the one before that.
Yeah.
But there was another one. It said it was an 8-second clip, and it was titled, "Quite possibly the best line in movie history." And I was like, and it had Nicolas Cage, and I was like, okay. So I click on it, and it's from The Wicker Man. And he's standing there, and the boys have that bag, have that sack, and there's something in it. And it's it moves around, and all Nicolas Cage says is, "What's in the bag? A shark or something?" And that's it. That's all it is. It's titled "The Greatest Line in Movie History." I was kind of I didn't even laugh at first. I was more puzzled.
No, I'm kind of struck, like dumbstruck right now.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to say to that.
I think I actually replayed that video like 3 times, and I was just like,
yeah.
I started laughing a little bit at it. I was like, what? I was like, what is so great about this?
Not the bees is better than that, but
I think
that whole thing was just terrible.
Because of YouTube and memes, he's forever going to be known for. You don't say.
Yeah,
you don't
he'll
say.
always be known for that.
That is so great. There's this one picture I saw. It was a concert of Avril Lavigne, and she's on stage with her arms open. She goes, "He was a boy, she was a girl," and then the whole audience is like photoshopped with the "you don't say" face, like, like everybody. And then there's another one, that classic, like the teacher one. It's like, all right, everybody, pull out your pencils. We're going to write something, and the entire class is, "You don't say." They're great.
That's great.
Yeah, earlier today, the reason why we had to push back the recording was because I was at that Magic the Gathering tournament at Curio Cavern, and I am so, oh man, I played some great games, and the ending record was 2 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw. Two things. I was going to beat that guy that I had the draw with.
Okay.
It was game 3. I had him down to what I don't get. What I honestly don't get was that I played I played a Storm Breath Dragon. I mean, half of the listeners probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'm talking about my day. So I played this creature. It was a 4/4 haste. Hit him, and I dropped him to I don't know. I dropped him to something, and then I passed the turn back to him. And I had because of a certain card, I saw what was in his hand before that. He had something that destroyed all creatures. He didn't play it on his turn, and we were on time. It was like yeah. So, we were on time, and I hit he has the card that destroyed all creatures, and then he doesn't play it. I'm like, what the heck? What is he doing? All right, so he passed back to me, and then I pump up my creature with an ability, and I hit him and drop him to 4, and then he decides to play it, and then we ended up just going to a draw, and it was so frustrating because our first game took forever, and then no, the first game didn't take too long. It was the second game that took forever. And because I got him down, and then he came back and beat me. So but the third game I had him at 4 life, and I had him. I was going to win. I was going to beat him, and then we just ran out of time. I was so frustrated with the draw. So then, then after that, I was in, for top 8, I was at 7th. So I had to win my next match, and of course, next match I play this guy who's playing a deck that I've never beat before, and I lost 0-2. I was so bummed, but that's just the way it goes. So, but yeah. All right, Sean's back. I bet y'all didn't even know he left.
Nope.
Anyway, I just pretty much kept talking because I didn't know what else to do.
No, that's fine.
This is a live show, everybody. Someone had to take a bathroom break.
Yep.
And it wasn't me, obviously. No, it was. I actually took the mic with me into the bathroom.
Yeah,
I'm just,
of course.
just kidding, everyone.
All the way.
All the way there. But yeah. No, that draw, like I was saying, I would have won, but we ran out of time, and I was so mad. And then the next game, I had to win, because for top 8, I was at 7th after that game. Oh. And I was like, all right, so I have to win. Pardon me. I have to win the next round. And of course, I don't know if you saw it on my Facebook, but I posted right after.
I saw it.
I hate mono blue so much. It's such a pain to play against, because I've never beaten it. I've never beat mono blue. So I lost 0-2, and it was like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I just got wiped. I was really frustrated because I did really, because I started off with a loss. I was like, and I didn't just lose, I got crushed.
Like,
yeah, and I was just like, yeah, I was like one of the first games to be done. I was like, really, it's gonna be like that today? Then I went on a streak of winning. I was like, all right, cool. I came back strong. Then I had that draw. I would just. If I just had like another 2 minutes, I would have won. If I had like another even 60 seconds, I could have won in 60 seconds. But had that draw, and the draw actually didn't really. I mean, it wasn't that bad. I just had to win the next game, and of course I didn't because I had to play that mono blue. So, and it was for first place was 250, and if I would have made top 8, I would have had that chance. But next month, come back stronger next month. So.
It is.
Oh yeah. Anyway, man, I was gonna say something. Now I freaking forgot because I was talking about that.
It's okay.
Talking about that Magic tournament. Oh yeah, I decided not to go through with that audition with that band.
Why?
I don't think I. I don't think with everything else that I'm doing right now, I really don't think being in a band is probably the best idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to, but at the same time, it's like, if I'm gonna make music, I want to make it on my own terms. Like I want to work. Like if I'm gonna make music, I want to work with somebody who's actually like on the same page as me. It's like we just like that's one of the many things many projects that's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of similar to you. I mean, you have so many projects going on, and music's one of them. And it's like, and what's even better is that you have all of the equipment.
Yeah.
It's like you can literally just whenever you feel like it, like, oh, I'm gonna make a song.
Okay, I'm gonna do this.
Mm-hmm. But no, yeah. So wait, when did you guys practice yesterday? Wednesday. And how was it again?
It went well.
It went well. How do you think? How much longer do you think it's gonna go on? Like, do you guys need?
It's getting along well. I haven't really played music like this. It's a little more blended.
Yeah.
Than
That's
I'm
cool,
used
though.
to. So it's good. It just takes a little longer.
Yeah. How many songs do you guys have down?
Right now we have 4. We just
you just wrote that 4th one. Yeah, which I need to hear.
So it was,
hear parts of it.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Is Justin still playing bass?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's doing the vocal work and the bass.
And he's doing the back and forth.
Cool.
And I do the back and forth.
Yeah.
So
that's neat.
That's.
Have you guys like talked about any shows?
There's been discussion of it.
Yeah.
But as to the extent of our songs, our set list would only run like 20-25 minutes. So we have to have like 2 more.
Yeah.
And lyrics haven't really. We've started working on lyrics, but they're not completely solidified yet. So
okay.
There's steps to go.
Yeah, the whole lyrical process.
Yeah.
Well, for some, I mean, in some cases that could be like the easier part. It's just inserting the lyrics.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, so that's.
Man,
it helps to do all this when you're quitting smoking because now I have like an extra 6 hours that I didn't have before.
Yeah, because that way, you're not going out and in, out and in, out and in. How is it with like is Justin still smoking?
Yes.
Yeah. That sucks. Man, I know like he has been like he's been like so close to quitting like so many times.
Yeah, he's at that point where like you can tell he's going to at some point, but he's just not quite there yet.
Yeah. Sucks about what happened with like I mean, it sucks that like he keeps getting there, like he keeps getting to that point, and then like something happens, he's all like, "Oh man, fucking," and he starts smoking.
There's generally a reason, like if you end up quitting, and I've noticed out of all the people that I've talked to and all the people I've known that have quit, there's generally something that pushes you to a point of you have to stop. I started having a lot of health complications.
Right.
And it may have led to some severe health complications I've had in the past few years. So it was just like, okay. And the big reason is the first day I stopped smoking, it hurts to breathe. So, which is even more of a reason to stop doing it.
Yeah, when it starts hurting to breathe, that's when you kind of want to take a step back.
I mean, and the thing is also, like, if you're a singer or a vocalist, like, unless you want your voice to sound like ground up hamburger meat when you're 31, you really don't want to, like, smoke like a pack a day for,
like some of those death metal bands, man. They, like, I can only imagine how messed up like their voices can get. I remember when Chimera first went on tour, they were like, this is like kind of off topic, but it was like they were so so strapped for money that they couldn't even afford beer. I was just like, that makes me sad.
That happens because most major bands, especially when they do start, until you get to a headlining point, you have so many expenses. Because most people just think, like, okay, you have a hotel, you need food, and it's like, when you start, you need gas, you have to pay your manager, your booking agent, you have to pay a merchandise cover fee for the venue.
That's so ridiculous.
If you have roadies, you need to pay them. If you have a sound guy, you have to pay him. If you have a lighting guy, you have to pay. I mean, it just keeps going and going and going. And, and then depending on how many band members you have to split whatever you have left.
Yeah.
So,
oh gosh,
it's tough.
It really is, man. It's really unfortunate that it's gotten to that point. I mean, I can tell that, like some record labels do their best to market as hard as possible for bands and to get them more money. But in the end, dude, it's just like, it is just so hard to make a living as, like, a musician that's outside of, like, radio play. Yeah.
One of the things that I've noticed is I've heard a lot of people hate on Victory Records.
Right.
Because it's always been they've been stuck in lawsuits. They haven't paid bands, and one of the things that I've noticed is with two bands in particular, who have actually both commented on their success is their own.
Yeah.
Kind of ironic this is coming up now, but their success is their own.
Yeah.
Victory Records, from what I've heard, and I've talked to some people who have, like, played in bands that have worked for them when I've gotten to meet the groups. Yeah. And one of the things that I've noticed is Victory Records, they give you the amount of money to do it, and they give you the networking ability to do it.
Yeah.
But that's it. Depending on what you do, like, depending on how your sound works and how you carry yourself. Yeah. And how you network yourself will pay off.
Yeah.
Or it won't.
Mm-hmm. It's tough, man. That's why it's like, it's really gotten to the point where, it's not just the artists that are starving, it's the musicians that are starving too.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's it's just the general circle of what you can call an artist.
Right. Exactly.
Anyone, I'd say anything in the media, like, you starve for the first couple of years, but
yeah, and it sucks, man. Like, there are a lot of really talented musicians out there, and what's so great about it is that they already know what they're getting themselves into. They're more or less like, they're just doing it because they enjoy doing it, which is fine. But it's like the days of there are some out there who would honestly just want to do that full time, but it's almost. I mean, it's possible, but it's almost impossible to do these days. To make a living off of playing that kind of music, playing that metal or whatever genre you want. I mean, it's possible, but it's just gonna take a while, and you gotta be really, 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 like, that's like I was saying. You gotta know what you want. What I was saying earlier about vision. Exactly. They gotta know what they want. They gotta see themselves, and they just gotta go after it 100% and do everything they have to do, and just not give up.
and there's been a big back and forth in the music industry, and one of the things that I've never understood is now it's much easier to get into it, but it's not. success is held differently.
Yeah.
It's like, if you want to have all your creative ability and you yourself want to write everything and you yourself want to put it out.
Yeah.
It's great, but you're not going to make a lot of money. If you want to do this and make a lot of money, you've got to let Hollywood take you in, and Hollywood puts your album out.
Yep, and then they force you to do things you don't want to do.
And it's frustrating because, years ago it was you could do it or you couldn't.
Yeah.
Now it's what makes it easier now is it's like mice finding cheese. And it's you just have to find where it is, but once you find that target group, you're set. But
pretty much. Yeah, I think the biggest I think the best example for how to do it and how to do it right is he's had some ups and downs, but Devin Townsend.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really played his cards right. Because first he very first started out with his his own project, his own Devin Townsend project. And then he did Strapping Young Lad, which is where he lost his mind, and
yeah.
But and then he put out like 2, 3, like 4 albums with that band, Strapping Young Lad.
Yeah.
He had Strapping Young Lad, the actual the SYL CD, and then he had City, and then he had Alien, and Alien was out. City was crazy, and so was Alien.
Yes.
And then the New Black came out. New Black was a little weird, but the Devin Townsend project was always something that was good. It was always good, and no matter what, he always brought, like, he always was able to pack like a good amount of people. Yeah. Wherever he went. Now it's like I go to the last Devin Townsend show I went was freaking huge. There's so many people there. It was ridiculous. It was up in Baltimore, and I was like, I remember it was the funniest thing in the world. They had a double encore at the end. Yeah, they were Sharon asking him to do another one, so they played another one, and then they were saying, "Do one more, do another one," and he was like, "All right, you crazy guys, we're gonna do another one." And they played Bend It Like Bender from the that newer one they did when they had, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of that CD. But what's so funny is at the end of that song where they where they were just playing like the chorus all the way out until the end. Yeah. Dude, he went crazy. He was all like, he stopped saying, he's like, "All right, everybody right here, everybody come on up on stage, everybody." And he got like, he literally went, as soon as he said that, just all these people
all move up.
I'm not joking. Like 30 people got up on stage, and it was like so crowded that the musicians could barely move. And Devin's sitting there, and he's like singing with people, and people are singing into the mic, and they're all like, it was the craziest thing I'd ever seen in my life. But it was so funny. I was in hysterics. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and nobody was stopping him.
No one would.
Yeah, it was so great, and that's how they ended the show with like 30 fans on stage, like all over Devin. Like everybody was all over him. It was so great.
Yeah, but that's how. One of the things that I've always liked about Devin Townsend is he doesn't always put out the same thing, whatever genre.
Yeah.
Like I actually had to take a listen to it because everyone I knew got really upset because he's like, "I have this new album coming out. It's gonna be awesome," and everyone goes out and buys it, and it's a country album.
Oh, yeah. I think I know which one you're talking about.
And it was pretty good. And one of the things that I've always liked is, one, he does what he wants.
Yeah.
But he's musically educated enough to where everything he puts out is good. Mm-hmm. It's tasteful. He doesn't try to overdo or, copy too much from one person to the other. He does his own thing every time with whatever he's attempting to do, whether it's metal or country or rock or pop or whatever. And it's kind of weird because I didn't realize that he played for Steve Vai.
As a matter of fact, he did. Well, you know what? There was, because a couple of years ago he put out a double album. Like he released like 2 CDs at the same time, and it was Deconstruction and Ghost. And Deconstruction was insane. Like, it was one of the craziest albums I've ever heard. And then Ghost was a complete opposite.
Yeah.
It was really quiet, very slow, and it was like not heavy or fast at all. It was just him like singing and like
awesome.
really really slow guitars and sound effects. I don't even think there was much drum work at all. And it was actually like it was so different. And I actually tried to listen to it and I was like, I don't get it. Like I couldn't understand it. I mean, my friend explained it to me. He said, Ghost was apparently him like when he like disappeared and went on like a hiatus and got sober and and when he like did stop making music for like a year or two or something like that. I was like that's cool and all, but I have no idea what the hell's going on in this CD.
Well, the other thing is that is also a very good idea if you're running with a concept album.
Yeah.
One album tells one story.
Yeah, Deconstruction.
One tells
was
another.
insane.
One tells another.
Yeah.
And you've seen it before in a couple of groups that have done it. There have been a couple of people who put out albums like that, and it's normally like a good and evil, black and white.
Yeah.
Kind of.
That's true, because Deconstruction was like an all-black CD, and it was really, really, really crazy. Like, It was all over the place. And then Ghost was like, Ghost had beautiful album cover, like album artwork. And, but there was one song on Deconstruction called, Deconstruction, the song itself is insane. And then there's Jular, and I remember he played it live at Jack's, and he said he's like now when I play this song, I want to let you all know, you should probably imagine somewhere in hell a bunch of dwarves, or he's like a bunch of gnomes hammering on a railroad. And because of that, every time I hear that song, that's all I think about. I was just like, damn it, Devin. I remember another time, Jason and Tim and Ryan were all at Jack's, and this was years ago, and Devin was there as like not even headlining.
Yeah.
And there was a group of guys there who were all like, man, this sucks. This music sucks. Blah, blah, blah. He's all like, oh, you hate it? Oh, that's great, because we're going to play a 7-minute song now. It's called Gaia. And then he plays, or a 10-minute song or whatever, and he plays Gaia. He plays the entire song. And I was like, so great. I love that reaction. Though. He's like, oh, you hate it? We're going to play a 10-minute song now.
There was a meme that was made up of him that
I
saw that was really funny. He's like, some metal vocalists shave their heads, some grow their hair out. I do both.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah, because he had the bald head with hair, long hair on the back. I remember the very first time I saw Devin was he did play Gaia, which was awesome. That's what got me into Devin, was when I heard Gaia, and I ended up downloading the song because I'm a pirate like that, and back in high school. But he played Vam Polka as like an intermission, like between like two songs, and like he started playing it, and it was like and then he was like hopping around on one foot, like going down the stage and going back, and like it was so funny. Oh man. And I have so many crazy encounters with that guy. I remember I was up in the front row at the second to last time I saw him. I was taking a picture with my phone, and I didn't realize it until later. I was taking a bunch of pictures with my old phone, and I remember I was going through, and I looked at one of them, and he's all up in my phone, and he's reaching for it. He's like trying to grab my phone. I have a picture of Devin Townsend trying to steal my phone. That's so funny.
I mean, stealing your phone, really isn't that bad.
Oh, I wouldn't
know
care.
some people that are like.
I'd be like, oh, please take it.
Some people are.
He puts his.
Well, some performers are bothered by it. I don't think he would be.
Oh, no way.
I think he likes the attention.
Oh yeah, after the show, the show, he actually announced he was. After his set, because there was another band coming on after him. After his set, he was all like, "I'm gonna be right over there, taking pictures and signing stuff and saying hi to everybody. So come on over and say hi if you want to." And it's like as soon as he said that, everybody was like, started flocking over there, and it's just.
Yeah, like there have been a couple of people that have actually like surprisingly gotten very upset that people are like videotaping them or taking pictures of them on their phones.
That's weird. I don't understand
and I'm like,
why.
Isn't, I mean, you're a performer, so, you're in the spotlight, everyone's watching you.
Kind of should expect that.
Like you should expect people, like, I mean, I don't understand why you would put yourself in public eye and then just be like, don't take my picture.
Don't look at me.
Don't
look at me. Don't look at me.
It just doesn't make sense. And it's like, I mean, I think there was a Danzig show where he was like, beat up the kid who's being on his phone.
Yeah. Like what, Danzig?
Dude, like, I mean, really?
Yeah.
Like,
you're Glenn Danzig formerly from the Misfits. You should expect that. That's insane. But I feel like that's probably more like on the punk side of things. I can see more guys being like that.
I could see Axl Rose doing something like that.
Yeah.
I see it as more as it's an ego thing. Mm-hmm. It's not so much of I'm a performer, I'm better than you. It's just like,
I know there's a lot of I remember you told me one time, it's like there's like a lot of the older like punk bands, they like have a problem with like the younger generation trying to get into their music for like whatever as like a social status or something, but it's like
it's kind of rough. And it was kind of hard because I mean the main band that I played in, I thought it was going to be normal, and when I actually went out and played the shows and met the other bands, we did things much differently than they did, and I didn't really know how, and I was scared because I didn't know how people were going to react to it, because we were the only band on the bill of 7 other groups that sounded like that.
And that's why I'll never go to a hardcore punk show, because it's like I just don't fit in. I just don't fit in. I mean, nothing wrong with the people. I just don't fit in there.
Yeah, it's one of those things of I've never understood that. I've been to some shows where there's a you don't belong here kind of mentality if you don't look like you belong there.
Yeah.
Which kind of confuses me, because the whole reason I got into it was because I didn't really feel like I belonged anywhere, so I was like, okay, well, here's other people who are like that. And then,
I mean,
you walk into a show and your hair's not spiked and you don't have a mohawk, and they're like, get out.
Get out of here. What do you think you're doing?
You're pushing the idea of being, open-minded and accepting everyone, and it's.
I mean, unless it was like a house show, like where,
those are awesome.
Where like where Gradius used to practice and play at, that's cool. Like I don't mind there, because I know a lot of the bands that played there were on the punk side of things, either punk or I mean, there was a fair amount of metal, but there was a lot of punk bands that played there, and they were good. There were a lot of really good ones.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's so much as like a specific genre. I don't think hardcore punk leans a certain way. I don't think that metal leans a certain way. I think that with every group there are this small percentage of just elitist people who just don't want outsiders in. I mean,
that's with everything though.
I
mean, that's pretty much there's like a group like that everywhere.
They're the cream of the crap.
Pretty much cream of the crap.
But I mean, you just can't get rid of them.
No,
I mean, they're always there. Oh, like the straight edge bands.
Oh man, I remember that thing. Well, it's probably still a thing, but I remember
it's still there.
I remember when it was huge. Like it was probably back when I was like 17.
Yeah, it was huge.
Like Gary Lane. You remember Gary Lane?
Big Gary.
That kid,
he was a really nice guy.
Yeah, super nice. And you know what? He was the most accepting of any straight edge kid I've ever seen. But but he was on there to the max. Like I remember when we were when Justin, Gary, and I were in a band, and we were practicing at Chris Philpott's house, and we were trying to get Chris Philpott to like buckle down and actually play guitar. And I think Justin was still playing guitar, and Gary was playing drums, but he was using Chris Philpott's drum set because they had a ridiculous Pearl drum set.
Oh.
It was like full spread like cymbals, toms, 2 double bass drums. It was huge.
Wow.
It was an enormous kit. It was like a $3,000 kit or something. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, if it's Pearl,
yeah, it was.
If you have 2 bass drums, it's gonna be like $2,000, something like that.
So we were playing, but I remember Justin and I were in the car. Gary was driving the Scion. The first class of XBs that were coming out. So he had that. I think he had like that hard drive like on the like when the hard drives first started getting popular.
Yeah.
When they first came out with those for the stereos.
Yeah.
Dude, it was like every minute he was all like, "Oh, dude." Like talking to Justin, have you heard of this band? The something, and he would like flip to it. Oh, well, have you heard of this band? And he's like naming all these bands. I was like, who the fuck? I was like, who the hell are these bands? I've never heard of them.
Yeah.
And they all relatively sounded the same. It was more like they sounded similar to like breakdowns like from that would be like similar to On Broken Wings, stuff like that.
Yeah,
it was like On Broken
that was
Wings.
a big.
I remember when
they were one of the big ones. Yeah,
dude, I heard they were like banned from KC's. Didn't they like tear down the freaking installation or something?
There were some shows with like the militia crew who would show up and just like kind of knock everyone around. And I mean, it was.
I never understood I understood mosh pits, but I never understood like punching people in mosh pits.
The actual because there are people that go in and then there's slam dancing.
Oh god, yeah. Slam dancing.
Now I did, but that's more of just like. I mean, it's dancing to an extent, but there are certain there's. I mean, and this really goes for everything, but. There is a right and a wrong way to do something.
Yes.
And, don't go, two-stepping into a pit with a 14-year-old, in there. And there was a show at Jack's that was closed out because some guy cracked a 14-year-old girl in the head while slam dancing, and she went unconscious.
Oh.
And it was like, no, you can't do that. And I went to go see the Warriors, and the audience stormed the stage, and they shut the show down.
Oh, my God.
And it's like,
Yeah.
And, I decided never to go to a hardcore show there ever again because it's like something seemed to go wrong.
Something insane happened. Yeah. Yeah, I've been to a few there at it's Empire now, but I've been to a few there.
Yeah.
I'm not a big show person anymore. I don't know
I'm
why.
not either.
It's like I just don't have the ambition to go. Like, I mean, if it's like my friend's band, I'll try and go, but it really depends on like what I'm doing, what I have planned for the next day, like the next morning, you know, because most of the time the shows like are typically pretty late. So, like I know Gradius is playing tonight, but it's in DC at the Velvet Lounge.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it starts at like 9, and I gotta be up at 4 tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's like I want to go, but at the same time, it's like, I haven't seen those guys in a while too, man. Yeah. And I'm just like, I can't. I can't.
Yeah, I mean,
because you gotta drive to DC, then then the show starts at 9. I don't know when exactly they play, and then typically it's like probably gonna be like 11 for the sake of argument that I'm like leaving, and then I gotta drive from DC all the way out to Manassas.
Yeah, and
it's like guys, I love you, but I can't do it, man.
Yeah, well, on top of that, you're like, oh, what do you guys go on? They're like, no, you stay for the whole show, support all the local artists. It's like,
thankfully, they're not like that.
Yeah.
Thankfully,
it's like, okay, come on, man.
Yeah, it's like I'll come and see you guys, and then I'll leave.
Well, it's like, I could understand if you didn't have anything to do the next day and you strictly didn't want to be there
and just chill.
Because you didn't want to be there. It's like, okay, I can understand that, but like when you have once it's a Sunday night and you have work the next day, it's like, okay, no.
Yeah. I remember there was one time where I actually was happy about I was initially not happy about it, but I turned it out not minding it. I remember Eric Hollins like hit me up one time. He wanted to go to Jack's like so bad to see Ion Dissonance, and back then they were like they were actually headlining that tour.
Oh yeah,
and they weren't I guess they weren't coming around. They didn't come around that much. So, he was asking me for like a ride there, and then like he'd pay for my ticket and all that stuff. And I was like, all right, fine. So we go there, and little did I know this band that he wanted to see. Iron Dissidence is amazing. I like them. But back then I had never heard them before. So I didn't even know any of the bands that were playing there. So we get there, and like they don't go on until like 11:30, and it's a Sunday. And I'm like, and I have to like be up like early the next day for work. But then like Ion Dissidence, they came on, they started playing some songs, and like they come to their last song, and he was all like, the singer's all like, I just want to thank all of you staying here late, supporting the show and staying here and watching us. Even though most of you guys probably have to get up for work early tomorrow, we really appreciate you guys staying and hanging out. And I was like, all right, I'm not mad anymore. Like, all right, I dig it. I get it.
It's awesome when they like actually say, we know it's late.
We know it's late.
I'm sorry.
We know you guys got to be up tomorrow.
Because they don't have to wake up until like 4 p.m.
Right?
So,
yeah,
they've got it pretty easy.
Yeah,
so.
they get done, they drink, and then they sleep for like 12 hours while they're on the ride to the next location.
I'll never forget. And on an ending note, there was a video where they were asking certain bands like, "What's the one thing you want to take with you on tour?" And the Bunny of the Bear actually said, "Bring Febreze." Because you will not shower for 5 days.
Yeah.
And you're going to, when you've got like 11 guys in a bus, it's like, wow.
Yeah. Well, that is true. On an ending note, we're going to go ahead and end right there. It's been a good hour and, 15 minutes?
Yeah, 111.
111. I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well... Thank you all very much for listening. This has been episode 2 of A Successful Frontier, which I want to let you guys know, please, we're going to be putting this up on YouTube. Please hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed our little show, our podcast. And we're going to have a link to a GoFundMe account because, we do this for free. It's going to remain free, but we do take donations. The donations will go to better equipment, a better input system so we can get some guests that I have planned out, and also maybe even to get a video cast going. So we would really appreciate donations, whatever you can, but this podcast will remain free for the foreseeable future. And if you haven't already, please go and like us on Facebook. Just search A Successful Frontier. And we're also going to be putting up a blog spot as well, and we'll get that link in there in the description area as well. So look in the description area for all our links, and we will see you guys 7 days from now, next Sunday. So all you winners, keep your head up. Remember, stay with the vision. Have faith. See you all later. Have a good one.